Welcome to the Rolling Around podcast. Join me, retired Stockton PD James Nance, for exciting conversation and tons of interesting guests.
No, remember back in 1986 when Reagan bombed Muammar Gaddafi's house?
I do.
I thought that was the coolest shit ever. You are not Portuguese. You do not get to own a dairy. No. 4th of July weekend, 2021. I was on top of the planet.
This is the Rolling Around podcast. How's that? All right. Today on the Rolling Around podcast, we have somebody that I've known for quite a while. We have Lee Neves. He is owner and CEO of Cross Currents LLC, a political consulting and public affairs firm. He's also a contributor to Newsmax and NTD News. You might have seen him on TV. And dare I say, a political stalwart nationally now, where it used to be, I think, the Central Valley, right? Now you went national.
Used to be just the Valley, but I've gone national.
Yeah, you have. You have. I remember whenever I first saw you on Newsmax, I was like, hey, I know that guy. Right on. Where are you from?
Oh, man. Grew up in two places. First was I lived on, my parents had a 300 cow dairy in Oakdale, California.
Man, and what's that whenever you're driving past a dairy and you get that aroma? What's that called?
Smells like money.
Smells like money. That's right. All right.
But no, that's where I was born, grew up. A lot of great memories in Oakdale. And then, like a lot of dairies in the 80s, it went bankrupt.
Yeah.
That was the nature of the business. We moved to Hillmar, and so that's where I did all my formative years.
Oh, you're formative. That's what Hillmar's made you what you are today.
Hillmar, California.
That's a big town.
It's a big town of 5,000 people.
Yeah.
It was a big thing when we got our first stoplight. I mean, it was 1987. I remember everyone signed a petition. We got a stoplight at Lander and First Avenue, and that we made it. We had a stoplight in Hillmar.
You were on the map.
We were on the map.
All right.
So, I did graduate at Hillmar High in 1993. Then went to my ever-beloved University of the Pacific.
All right. That's all right. A little Stockton stuff going on here.
That's where I first got introduced to Stockton, California, which is obviously now my hometown.
Yes, it is.
Did my undergrad there, and then jumped directly to law school and did law school. Also Pacific, McGeorge School of Law.
All right.
Graduated 2000. Never took the bar exam.
Well.
Never took the bar exam. And dove right into the political world, kind of head first.
Really?
So it was, law school's cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's like super cutthroat. Everyone needs to get top 10% to, go intern for the summer at Will Cheatham and Howe.
Yeah.
And from the get-go, I told everyone, hey, I do not want your clerkship. I'm not even going to practice. Yeah. And they looked at me like, what kind of weirdo are you?
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm doing this to get into politics. And they're like, okay.
Trying to get some inside knowledge.
Yeah, and it was so cutthroat. Like, people would give other people the wrong answers while they're studying together.
Oh.
To sabotage them. And I had set myself apart as, we don't have to worry about him. He's not coming after my law firm clerkship. Nothing. And, at the end of the day, I might have to be nice to this guy somewhere down the road.
Right.
So I had it pretty damn easy in law school.
All right.
I had it pretty damn easy. And the irony is, the amount of friends of mine who graduated went into the law firm life and dropped out.
Yeah.
One is a home builder. Got several that are realtors.
Yeah.
Just the amount of people who dropped out, hey, they're kind of like, golly, you kind of were onto something.
Dropped out after they graduated?
Yeah, after they've actually been working in a law firm.
Oh, my goodness.
They had been working in a law firm, living that law firm associate life.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is not for me. Because you're easy pulling 60, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I'm out. And I, sitting there, I'm like, I could have told you guys that wasn't for me a long time ago.
Right.
No, thank you. not my jam.
What drove you? You knew you were going to go into political consulting and whatnot?
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
What drove you that direction?
Remember back in 1986 when Reagan bombed Muammar Gaddafi's house?
I do.
I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And I was like, I want to be with those people.
86? You were young.
I was young.
If you graduated in 93,
I was young. I was
Yeah.
like in the 5th, 6th grade. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I thought Ronald Reagan was the coolest president ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am going into politics. And ever since that happened, like after school, there were 2 shows that I watched when I came home. Sports Center on ESPN and Crossfire on CNN. Like all my friends are watching MTV.
At that age?
And I'm watching
right.
Pat Buchanan and Michael Kinsley, the Pat Buchanan on the right, Michael Kinsley on the left on Crossfire. And I was just fascinated. I was absolutely fascinated. And I was like, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
Oh my goodness.
I want to be one of those people.
All right.
So
did you surprise your parents at all? Did they think you were going to carry on the dairy dynasty?
No. My
right.
In fact, they were straight up. Your ass is going to college. You are going to get a degree. You are not going to live that dairy life.
All right.
I do think they wish I had gone and been 3-piece suit in a law firm and had 2.3 kids and a white picket fence.
2.3 kids.
And married nice Portuguese girl.
Yeah.
But that I think they also knew from the get-go that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew I marched to the beat of my own drummer.
I think it is. Isn't being a dairyman you got to be Portuguese? That is a prerequisite, right?
It is a prerequisite.
Yeah. All right.
It is a prerequisite.
I grew up with several.
If you are not Portuguese, you do not get to own a dairy. Nope. And for the record, cows do speak fluent Portuguese.
Yeah. That's funny.
100%. 100% speak fluent Portuguese. So
right on.
But yeah, I've been doing the political thing, 27 years now. I started my second year of law school. I started working in the state capitol.
Mm-hmm.
And was fortunate enough to have mentors along the way that kind of saw, hey, he's, kind of good at this thing.
Yeah.
And have helped me along the way ever since. So been very fortunate with that.
How many firms did you work for before you started Cross Currents?
Oh my.
Because I've known you a while. I
Yeah.
bet it's been at least 12 years?
Yeah,
13
yeah,
years.
13 years.
You had
2012.
You had Cross Currents then.
I started Cross Currents in 2012.
Oh.
I had worked for a firm with a consulting partner beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I had worked for a state senator as his political director. I worked for a state assembly member as his district director and chief of staff. Then I ran for office myself. I ran for Merced County supervisor.
Did you?
And
right.
got my ass kicked.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best thing, because I was 28 at the time, and if I had won, I would have been unbearable. I would have been an absolute horror.
You'd have been on Newsmax for a whole different reason.
Yeah, exactly. And me losing was the best thing ever happened, because up until then, I'd kind of lived a pretty golden life. I mean, everything I touched turned to gold. I passed every class, all that. And that was my first real, like, hey, Lee, what you wanted to do didn't pan out. And I remember I was home for like 2 weeks, just leave me alone. World's ending. And finally a friend of mine came up and said, hey, I got a race I need you to run. So take a shower, shave, and, come back to reality.
Merced County?
Merced County.
You don't have to mention his name, but the one Merced County supervisor, he's a hoot. He's a hoot. I've always gotten a kick out of him. I don't know if he's still on or not, but man, I like that guy.
Oh my God.
I like that guy.
But so I had a firm there for a while. And then I kind of got burned out. I got burned out for a hot minute, and I went and did community relations for Barnes & Noble booksellers, which
now that you say that, I remember.
Yeah, involved me reading to little kids.
Okay.
And being nice to teachers. That was basically my entire job duty.
Yeah.
Paid shit, by the way. Paid absolute shit.
Yeah.
But it really let me grow in this community, because I was based out of Stockton.
Right.
really let me grow in this community and in a very non-political manner, able to do things non-political, very community based. And I did it for 4 years, 11 months. It was great. I really enjoyed my time there. I still have friends from my times there. Had some amazing friendships and really good times. But then, the bug hit and there was a congressional race for me to run. And so I went back into the political thing, and that race he lost in the primary. Good guy, just it was a campaign going nowhere. And formed Cross Currents right after that race was done, and the rest is history.
Took off. You were on a run after that.
I was on a run after that.
I have never known you not to be busy or have quite a few clients or in the mix of something.
I'm always in the mix of something.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
Yes, it does. So. Yeah, no kidding. No, it does. And you're still here in Stockton?
Still here in Stockton. I do spend a good chunk of time in the great state of Florida.
Yeah.
My happy place for reasons I'm sure we'll get into later.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure as much as you want to.
But yeah, Stockton's home.
Yeah.
Stockton is home. It's kind of where I really grew up, from just being a very naive kid from Hillmar, California, to actually being an adult. It's given me some of my greatest victories, and really helped establish me professionally. And if you can make it in Stockton politically, you really can make it anywhere.
Yeah. Is that right?
Politics here is it's a blood sport.
Right.
It really, really is. It's not, and I tell everyone this, and at first they don't believe me, and then they'll come back around and say, oh man, you are 100% correct. It's not policy based here. It's personal based.
Yeah.
It is very much, do I like you or do I not like you?
I can't, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I can remember that, my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been interesting here.
It is
to
just,
say the least.
I remember there's a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, but she got involved in politics in 2022. She ran for supervisor and stayed involved politically. And everyone was telling her, you need to stay, the people in her circle, you need to stay away from Lee. He's horrible. Horrible human being. And, luckily and I now count her as one of my really good friends. Luckily, she's the kind of person, if everyone's telling me to not do something, I'm going to go find out why.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, Lee, I'd like to have coffee. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we have coffee. And at the end of it, she's like, oh my God, you're lovely to talk to, and you're like funny, and and everyone was telling me all these horror stories, and I was like, let me guess, it was A, B, C, and D. And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, those people are assholes.
Yeah. But there's been, you're right. You're always going to have those, but I'll tell you, some of the best folks, I've met have been on the council too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They have their own reasons for doing it, and they're, they kind of stay out of the fray, right?
Yes,
and they do fantastic. They really do put Stockton first.
They do. I mean, there's Dan Chapman is one of them.
Oh my gosh,
still a very good friend of mine.
I'll tell you, Dan Chapman. I'll tell you how long I've known him. He was Logan's T-ball or little league coach, and I didn't ask permission. If we could say his name, maybe I'll talk to him after this. But I'll tell you, I think he is just a hell of a nice guy.
He is,
and his wife is.
They're both. They
doll.
are both amazing people.
Yes,
they are both amazing people. But people like Dan just really have a heart for Stockton.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And unfortunately, have taken a lot of barbs over the years by people who have been in those positions and basically seen it as a stepping stone, or I'm going to do this because for these reasons, and really not because look, at the end of the day, whether you like someone or not, your job is to make this life just a little bit better for the people in this city.
Absolutely. Just
a little bit. Yeah. That's all they ask for.
And everybody in the city.
Yeah. And when you can't put your personal differences aside.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
We're gonna hit the old what's the thing there? We gotta hit the little beep button on that one. Yeah, we'll leave that one out. All right. That's funny.
But there are just some people that they get up there and they just don't get. It's not there to settle personal scores or do victory laps. It really, especially local. I'm a firm believer. Local politics is you're there to really make things where people live just a little better.
I would agree.
That's all they're asking for. Make sure the roads are paved. Make sure there's not a shootout in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just the basic shit.
Make sure the curb cutouts are nice and level for guys in wheelchairs
Yes.
to get up on the curb.
100%.
That's a big one. That one's, I never really used to think about that, but now I think about it every once in a while. I'm sure whenever somebody's next to me and I'm stuck on a bump, just spinning my wheels, they know what's on my mind. I promise you. I promise you.
Oh my gosh!
I remember what'd you do for the POA, for the police, Stockton police officer? Because that was during bankruptcy, right?
It was during bankruptcy, and immediately after I was their political consultant.
That's right.
I'd met your wife, Catherine.
Yes.
Who also goes by the moniker the big sister I never had or wanted.
You know what? I'll let you talk about that all you want. I'm staying out all of that. I know, was it Jamaica? Something like that? You guys went to Jamaica?
U.S. Virgin Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands, that's right.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
I remember she said, I don't think I mentioned it. I'm going to go to I don't know whatever it was called. I'm going to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands with Lee next weekend or something. I was like, okay, have fun.
Well, so I had bought it earlier the year,
right,
when I was dating that really mean girl.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to ask you to narrow that down, but yes.
And we split.
Yeah.
And I had this non-refundable trip for two.
Oh.
It was a non-refundable trip for two, and I wasn't dating anyone at the time. So I
had to take the big sister.
Honestly, I thought the idea probably came into my head during Margarita Tuesday at El Torito's.
That's right. I remember those.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, I'll just ask Catherine.
Yeah.
And she had a fantastic time. I drank way too much and got sick halfway through it.
I think I kept getting pictures of iguanas or something like that.
There were massive iguanas.
Yes. I was like, dude, don't touch those things.
There were massive iguanas. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a hurricane or a tropical storm blew through on one day.
I did. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because weren't they dropping from the trees and all kinds of stuff,
They
right?
They were.
No, that's out. I don't. I need nothing to do with iguana falling out of a tree.
But yeah, I was the consultant for the POA.
Yeah.
And really and I came in right after they had a different consultant who thought it would be a good idea to put up a billboard with the body count of Stockton murders.
I seem to recall that.
Yeah. And that went over like a lead balloon.
Sure.
Yeah. Everyone loved that one. Said nobody ever. And so they wanted someone with a little bit of softer touch. And look, I've done.
And they chose you.
They chose me. They chose me. Because look, I've done some pretty nasty political ads in my time, but I always start off with the moniker: you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Right.
And especially back then, I really wanted to put the POA in a better light because the person, quote unquote, on the other side was a city manager by the name.
Yeah.
Who's probably one of the biggest assholes I've ever met in politics.
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to remain neutral on this one. Anybody that knows me, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
And with him on the other side, it was really easy to do to put the POA in a good light. Catherine was the president at the time.
Yeah.
And she was great in front of a camera. She was great one-on-one with people. And so we were really able to turn the tide in favor of the POA and with the public saying, hey, we back our police officers. And on the other side, when you have and I'll mention her name again.
Yeah.
Who, for those of you who are like, think of a Karen. Think of the physical manifestation of a Karen.
Yeah.
And that would have been.
Yeah.
It was easy to do, and they had a lot of success in electing people they supported to city council, to the mayorship, 2 years in a row, 2012 and 2016.
Yeah.
It was great to work with the POA. Look, my brother's a police officer in the city of Turlock.
Yeah.
So I've always had a lot of affection for police officers and law enforcement. one of my biggest clients right now, Ron Freitas.
Oh yeah.
District Attorney of San Joaquin County.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. I had a lot of fun portraying them in a positive light, and
a lot of times, like the people, the citizens of Stockton, we'll just call them the populate. They really don't know what goes on behind the scenes in that.
They don't.
And they don't get to see what goes on. They just see what's on the news.
Yeah.
And they don't see the hard work by both parties, whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
Both of them, I mean, whether you think they're friend or foe, they're both doing whatever they want to do.
Yep.
And I mean, it's not their fault to get wrapped up into that nonsense, whether it be staffing at the police department or any of that. It's not their fault. It's something they shouldn't even have to deal with, right? They just want to live. They just want to live their life and do their thing.
They want to be able to wake up in the morning, go to work, know their kids are safe, go shopping, go out to dinner, know that everything's going to be safe.
Car's going to be there when they come out.
Quality of life.
Yeah.
Just quality of life.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, I think if both parties have that goal in mind, then things turn out okay.
It'd be great.
When one of the parties, in this case, the city/management, had a goal of quote unquote breaking the union, then that's when things aren't okay. That your main mission of why you're there has now deviated. It's not to make the lives of the people who pay your salary and who you're supposed to serve better. It is to deal with this other group in entire.
Yeah.
And you're missing the main mission of why you're there. And I think that's what happened. And I think a lot of people started to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of people started to see that you had one group, the POA, really, working under conditions that were not optimal and still going out there every single day, putting everything on the line every single day. And then you had another side that just was like, well, we don't care about staffing. We don't care about how many cops are on the streets. We just care about breaking the union.
Ultimately, is they don't care about the city.
Yeah,
right?
They don't.
Care about
They don't.
The people
It's all,
that live here.
It is all about their ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And that's what you had, and that's why I think you saw back then they had the election losses they had. That's why you saw go elsewhere, thank God.
Yeah.
And that's, if anything, Stockton is a city that shows whenever your gaze turns elsewhere than serving the city of Stockton. I will use former mayor as an example. I mean, he got voted out because he thought he was a national superstar. He spent way more time on the national morning talk shows than being mayor.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, dude, you're bait and switch. You got elected saying you're going to focus on Stockton. You're going to put the chicanery, the past administration behind you. And yet here you are, it's 2020, and we find you in the morning on the CBS morning show announcing Michael Bloomberg's
I forgot
presidential
about that.
run.
You're right.
Than here dealing with the issues we're facing in Stockton.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's honestly, and look, I like Kevin Lincoln. I consider him a friend. And against a wet paper bag that year, and the wet paper bag would have been mayor.
Yeah.
So
I used to say quite a bit that Stockton does not follow the the national media for quite some time was the police aren't liked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, it was hard. It was hard to go to coffee and not have somebody offer to buy your coffee or your lunch. And I mean, Stockton, you got your people that don't like the police, but by and large, let me tell you, the police department, they're supported.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, they're supported.
Very much so, to this day.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So the POA, and then you moved on to, you were probably doing other races concurrently.
I did my really, really big break. I had two races that were my big break. There were two countywide races.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff of Merced County in 2014, I got elected. Vern Warnke, who I had, the person who did his commercials after we were done with the commercials, were like, if this guy doesn't make it, I got a job for him in Hollywood, because he's straight out of Central Casting.
Yeah.
Cowboy boots, cowboy hat, the mustache.
I remember. No, he was a nice guy.
when he got in the race, there were 3 candidates in the race: a current sheriff sergeant, the current police chief for the city of Merced, and Vern.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone saw Vern as a very distant 3 out of 3. And Merced, love it. That's where I grew up. But that county is usually like backwards in everything, like 10 years behind everybody in everything, from fashion and clothing and you name it.
Beautiful beaches and waterfront views. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confusing that with Malibu. I'm sorry. No, Merced.
And the way they ran campaigns was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And those 2 campaigns were being run locally by people who've done the same thing over and over again. And so I came in with Vern. I'm like, hey, you raised me this much money. I'm going to put you on cable TV. And we're going to do a lot of digital, a lot of social media.
Yeah.
No mail. We did 0 mailers.
Probably saved a lot of money doing
Our
that.
main opponent did, I want to say 9 mailers throughout the whole campaign, just like tons and tons. And I mean, come on, you know what happens when you get mail and thank you.
Right in the trash.
And so Vern, I had him on all the main cable news outlets, CNN, Fox, I mean on ESPN, Home and Garden, Lifetime, you name it. Merced County always has a spring fair, like the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a June primary. He's the spring fair, and the amount of people going up to him, hey, man, I saw you on TV.
Yeah.
And he came in first in the primary by such a margin. The general, and there was a runoff because he didn't hit 50 plus. But everyone was like, and at the time, police chief of Merced, Pat Lunny, came in second. And everyone thought he was going to win it in the primary. He was odds-on favorite, going to close it out in the primary, and he came in second by I want to say 20%. Like, he mailed it in the general. He didn't. His name was on the ballot, but he didn't even campaign. No fundraising, no nothing. Vern won going away, and everyone was like, "Who in the hell?"
Yeah,
it's like Robert Redford and Paul Newman and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Who in the hell are those guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we got.
Put you on the map a little bit.
So I did him. I did Jamie Musolimus here
very nice guy.
in San Joaquin County for superintendent of schools.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
He won that one, also going away
Mm-hmm.
against someone who was the favorite of the current incumbent.
Yeah.
And that really put me on the map here in the Valley. And then I had a couple congressional races that were, even though we lost, were tighter, way tight. One, and also in 2014, on election night, we were up 1,500 votes. Ended up losing because of the provisional ballots and all that fun stuff. And we were outspent like 10-1.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, and it was against a congressman who had his name on a freeway, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, how in the hell did they get, they had this
close.
guy beat on election day. And so it really put me in a position to where, and I'm fortunate now, at least for political candidates, I don't have to go out looking for candidates. They come looking for me.
Yeah.
And it really is a very enviable position to be in, to be able to say, I want to go with this candidate because I actually believe they're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
And that's
rare.
That's rare.
Right.
It is. It's rare
to have that mindset.
It is.
Sure.
And there have been plenty of people I said, hey, I don't think it's fit. But those that I do take on, Ron Freitas, Mario Gardea, current county supervisor, doing a great job. I have 3 of the 5 supervisors in Merced County.
Right on.
And they're doing a good job. And they're also just genuinely good people, because I've worked for some horrible, crappy people in very toxic offices. And I never want to go there again.
Yeah.
Never, never, never.
Well, I want to be mindful of your time, and there's 2 things I really want to get to.
Yes.
I know you can go in any order you want. I want to hear all about the Stockton Cargo. I want to hear all about them, and then I think you already said you wouldn't mind talking about you had a little health scare a couple years ago.
We'll do the health leads into the cargo.
Okay,
so
there we go.
4th of July weekend, 2021. I was on top of the planet. I mean, I was golfing 3 days in a row, I'd golfed Spyglass, Spanish Bay, Pebble Beach.
Barely making it.
All paid for by my sugar mama of a wife at the time, who worked at, was an executive of Facebook. I was chief of staff for a state legislator.
Mm-hmm.
Life was grand.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do you remember the advice I gave you though?
Yes.
Whenever you said you were going to propose?
Yeah. I remember I called you and Catherine and said, "Hey guys, I'm actually going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to propose. I'm going to get married."
And I piped right in and I said, "Bro, if you're smart, you're going to get that ring on Groupon." I'll tell you right now, you got to see how things shake out. If they shake out, she gets the big, beautiful diamond. But before that, you got to get on Groupon.
Did I listen to you?
Nope.
No, I did not.
Nope.
No, I did not. And for the record, 3 years later, when I called you guys up and said, "Well, she's filing for divorce," what are the first words out of your mouth?
I told you should have got that ring on Groupon. I told you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But life was good, and then 2 weeks later, I found myself being transported to Stanford Medical Center. I had complete liver failure.
Yeah.
My liver had just shut down. I was in Stanford Medical Center for a month. They actually had to have my now ex-wife, but at the time wife, come in and tell me that I needed a new liver.
Yeah.
And that was the day I legitimately thought I was going to die.
Well, I could tell you, I remember seeing you at the, I always get it backwards. It's either the orange and black or the black and orange ball.
Yeah.
And God, you were gray. You weren't even white. You looked terrible. And then we saw you the next day.
Yeah.
Remember that? We went to
Buds.
We went to Buds.
Yeah.
And you left. And I told Catherine and I told Jill, I was like, good Lord, man, I hope you said goodbye to that guy. He looks terrible.
So orange and black, something I went to every year.
Yeah, for sure.
So my ex-wife tells me I need a new liver. And Stanford I had cirrhosis of the liver. And Stanford asked if I drank. And I'm like, yeah, I drink like everyone else. And they're like, well, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And you have to jump through all these hoops to get on the transplant list. Whatever hoop you want me to jump through,
right.
I will say I'm an alcoholic. And to be very clear and upfront, was I getting drunk all the time? No. Did I have to have at least one drink a day? Yes.
Yeah.
We had a rule in our house when her son, she had a son from a previous relationship, when he was over, and they had 50-50 custody, when he was over, I did not drink.
Yeah.
And I would sneak in the garage to get a drink in. Just one.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Right.
So, but I didn't think I drank to excess. And I'd only been really drinking for 9 years. I really didn't start drinking until 2012 when I discovered Pinot Noir out of Santa Barbara.
No, yeah.
All downhill after that.
Yeah.
So I jumped through all the hoops, got on the transplant list. But I remember telling my ex-wife, I'm going to go to the Orange Black Ball. I'm not missing that. And I was at home in Morgan Hill 24. She was my caretaker, my ex-wife. And look, I want to be very clear. I will forever be grateful for what that woman did. Yeah. I mean, she could have said, I did not sign up for this. See you later. Let your family take care of you. And she is the one who put me on her back. And she's the one who got me to Florida to get the transplant.
Yeah.
And I cannot say enough kind and nice words about the sacrifice that woman made to make sure I lived.
Because you were in Florida for quite a while.
I was in Florida for most of 2022.
Yeah.
But I remember telling her I'm going to go to the Orange and Black Ball. And I can tell you right now, doing that almost killed me. Yeah. Almost killed me. After that, they call it delirium. I call it ammonia brain. But when your liver's not functioning, instead of the ammonia being released, when you go do number 2, go straight up to your brain. And I would wake up speaking in tongues, thinking the bathroom was in the closet.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, and they told her this was going to happen and to take me to the ER every time it does. And so the first time it happened, She got me in the SUV. We drove an hour to Stanford Medical Center ER. And I was still like, you could ask me a question and I would answer it or try to. And I was at the stage, and it would wear off over time until you're back normal. And so you go from not knowing your surroundings to speaking in tongues to being able to speak, but still having no clue what's going on. And so I'm in the ER, and the neurosurgeon is there kind of asking me questions, and my ex-wife is like sitting right there. And the neurosurgeon goes, "And who's this lovely lady?" I'm like, "That's my mom."
I bet that went over well.
That went over like a lead balloon. Probably reasons 1, 2, and 3 I got divorced. But I spent 8 months waiting for. I spent 8 months waking up in the morning, wondering, or going to sleep at night, wondering if I was going to wake up in the morning.
That's got to be rough.
It is super rough. Lowest I'd ever been.
Why? I think I recall. Why'd you choose Florida though? Is it because there's more donors? Maybe.
So
what was the reason?
Believe it or not, Florida has their shit together.
Yeah.
So when I got on the transplant list, my liver doctor told us, "Hey, look, it's going to take you 3 years minimum in California, and you're not going to make it. You're not. You're not sick enough to get one right away." But your quality of life is going to deteriorate, and it's going to start to affect all the other organs. And you're not going to make it. She's like, "I implore you." And she had mentioned 2 states, Tennessee or Florida. Go to either one of those 2. Now, my ex-wife is, as you know, was super liberal, original from Portland, Oregon, worked at Facebook. The idea of going anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line, petrified. So she actually, God bless her heart, she did a spreadsheet of every liver transplant center in the United States of America. There's 167 of them. And the top 3 were Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, University of Florida Medical Center, and University of Wisconsin-Madison. She put in average wait time, average wait list, survivability, all that other fun stuff. This was in the middle of the winter, so we're not going to Madison, Wisconsin.
No.
Mayo Clinic never got back to us. University of Florida did. Of course, me being me, when she was creating this spreadsheet, I was like, "Hey, can you put if they play big-time Division I college football?"
Right. Can you get me near a stadium?
Yeah. And she looked at me like she wanted to hit me upside the head. I'm like, okay, there goes that. Look. As luck would have it, I end up on the campus of the ever lovely University of Florida. And I remember they haggled with Stanford over some paperwork. And then finally I went out there for a week of testing. And I had told them my story. Hey, here's when I started drinking. And the liver doctor there was like, "There is no way your liver can look like that for drinking for 9 years. And they did some more testing, and he said I had NASH, which is non-alcoholic something. I was the lucky recipient of a hereditary gene that skips generations that basically makes you predisposed to cirrhosis. So if I had a glass of wine, my liver acted like I roughly had 500 glasses.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. So I had spent 9, and for anything that's bad, and I would pop ibuprofen like no one's business because of my shoulder.
Right. So
here I spent 9 years just absolutely destroying my liver, and I had no clue.
Yeah, no clue you were doing it.
So they accept us. We get our affairs in order, move out in February. I remember it was February 23rd.
Yeah.
Went out there, and remember them saying it's not going to take that long. And for me, not that long was like 6 months to a year. So my ex-wife had purchased a very luxurious single wide trailer in East Gainesville.
Nice. Just awaiting a hurricane or a tornado.
Waiting one of those.
Yeah. All right.
And actually, in Florida, it has to be certified that your trailer can survive a hurricane force winds.
I don't think it's that way across some other states.
No.
I see on the news.
But in Florida, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember sitting, so we got settled in, and she was like, hey, they're obviously not going to call you for a while. I'm going to go back and see my son for a couple of weeks in California. Are you okay here? And we'd already been there for like 3.5 weeks. I was like, yeah,
you're settled in.
Yeah, I'm settled in. I'm good. Literally the day she flies back at 10 o'clock p.m., the day before St. Patrick's Day, 2022, I get a phone call from a nurse at the University of Florida. They have a donor liver for you.
Within a month?
Please be here by 4 a.m.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I remember telling my wife, and she just was like, she hopped in the first plane back. I remember telling my mom, who at the time was dealing with she had brain cancer.
Yeah.
And God bless my mom. She was dealing with her own battle. And I remember, and it's at roughly right around this time, around Thanksgiving of the year before, and my mom had Facebook, and she typed out in Portuguese, and here's a lady who's going through chemo and radiation for her own brain cancer. And
tilt that microphone up just a little bit.
And
there you go.
And she types out, please pray for my son. He needs all the prayers he can have right now while she's going through her own thing.
Yeah.
And I remember telling her, and just like the tears of joy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like relief for her. She's like, I don't have to bury my son, which is the nightmare of any.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Any parent.
Whenever you got that call, was it did you have a feeling of relief, or was it a whole new set of fears, or
it was a whole new set of fears?
I'll bet.
They say I came within 30 seconds of bleeding out on the operating table. I was bleeding way more than they had originally thought I would.
Yeah.
My kidneys had stopped working. The dialysis machine wasn't keeping up. And they were actually discussing who was going to tell my wife that I would have been the first person to pass on the operating table during the transplant at the University of Florida.
Well, you are about setting a high bar for things.
I am.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, my kidneys just started working again, and they're like, we're in business. I like to joke that I actually went up to St. Peter's Gates, and he said, shit, this guy's going to beat me for re-election. Get your ass back down. Get your ass back down. But I had the transplant.
Yeah.
And, I knock on wood, ever since that transplant, it has been clear sailing. I haven't had any issues. Obviously, I've stayed sober. This February will be 5 years of my sobriety.
Good for you. And you came back, you were rail thin. I remember that. I had color, but you were still thin.
I was 155 pounds,
yeah,
which I was loving.
Yeah.
But I was still 155 3 months after, and my liver doctor was literally like, I'm going to feed you a sandwich. Yeah. Eat some goddamn carbs.
Right.
So they're happy with where I'm at now. But back then, they were like, you need to put some weight on. Look, I will, like I said, I'll forever be grateful to my ex-wife. Yeah. Because she's really the reason I made it through. But the medical professionals at the University of Florida are just world class. And I love that place like nothing else. And people are like, Lee, it's Florida. And they just don't understand the attachment I have. I mean, that place really saved my life.
Yeah. And you had to go back quite a bit afterwards too. I mean, it was you were flying back and forth.
And forth. I still fly back and forth a bit, but that's just because I generally like the place. And as I've discovered, women out there actually kind of sort of like me.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's a little shocking. It's a little shocking. But I know the other thing you want to touch on. So
how'd that lead into the Stockton Cargo? And for people that don't know what the Stockton Cargo is, you need to explain that.
So Stockton Cargo is a women's soccer team in the USL W League.
Okay.
So USL, for those of you out, Reno is getting a USL championship team. Yep. Yeah.
All right.
The Sac Republic, a lot of people have heard of them. They're USL championship. So USL United Soccer Leagues has a men's side and a women's side, and USLW is the lower division of the women's side. There is USL Gainbridge Super League, and then USLW League. And USLW League was announced in October of 2021 when I was laying in bed with absolutely nothing to do other than trying to not die. And throughout this whole process, I had thought to myself that there needs to be more to life than politics. Because that's what I was all politics all the time.
Right.
And if I had died, my tombstone would have said, here lays Lee Neves. He was really good at being an asshole every 2 years.
All politics all the time.
Politics all the time.
Yeah.
And there had to be more than that. And I always was such a big sports nut.
Yes.
And I always loved female candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Because male candidates, I mean, if they don't think they know everything already, they have a bunch of bros who saw one episode of The West Wing, and that makes them a political consultant.
Yeah.
So they're out here listening to their bros, questioning everything you're doing. And you're like, why'd you hire me?
Right.
Why'd you hire me? Women candidates in their hand are like, hey, I'm paying you to get me from here to here. Get me there. Love that. Absolutely love that. So they announced the USLW League, and I'm thinking this would be something great to bring to Stockton. Yeah. And at the time, only a few people knew what I was really going through. And I'd been a big donor to UOP Athletics. Right. And I reached out to a couple of my contacts there that, dealt on the men's soccer side of things. And they're like, it's great. Stockton would totally need something like that. They have no idea what I'm going through. I remember telling my wife, and I swear to God, I think she just agreed with it just to humor me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, honey, that's a great idea. Yeah, spend your time thinking about that.
Yeah, by all means, get yourself a soccer team.
By all means.
Yeah.
By all means. And so I start emailing the league. And then finally, emailing and calling. And then finally, they're like, okay, let's talk to this guy so he leaves us the fuck alone. And I remember having that first conversation. They're like, hey, right now all our teams are like just the Mississippi, basically just the Mississippi. We love to have a presence in California. We're not there yet. We want to be there next year. And I would always schedule, the league headquarters is in Tampa. And I would always schedule my calls for like 6 a.m. here, 9 o'clock there. Because when I had delirium, it always occurred when I woke up in the morning. So if I had a call scheduled with them, I would not sleep that entire night.
Oh, yeah.
So
you didn't have to, I get it.
Yeah. And so and my vision was I wanted to create a team consisted mostly of young women from the 209, because the thing with soccer in America, a lot of it is pay to play. To be seen professionally or by colleges, you have to play on these elite club teams, and those fees are just outrageous. And I was like, I want to have a team where it's not pay to play. If you're good enough, you will be on it, and that's that. The tryouts are always free. Uniforms are covered. Registration with the U.S. Soccer Federation is covered. Everything is covered.
Yeah.
Just get yourself there and get yourself back. And they loved it. They were like, this is great. We love the whole idea behind it, made up mostly of women from your area, because it's really overlooked and you're giving them a platform to really rise up. And it finally was January. And they're like, okay, we're ready to announce that. And they had some other teams in California that were interested, but no one wanted to be the guinea pig. No one wanted to be the first one out. And so they're like, hey, we're ready to announce you. And I'm like, oh, that's great. There's a slight problem. And they're like, what's that? Well, I'm currently here in Florida. And they're like, well, why are you in Florida?
Well, yeah, about that.
I kind of need a new liver. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I kind of need a new liver. So they're like, okay, get your new liver and let us know when you have it.
Okay.
Like, okay. A couple months pass. Lee gets his new liver on St. Patrick's Day. So
how ironic is that you get a new liver on St. Patrick's Day?
I get a new liver on the national drinking holiday of America.
Livers are just ruined.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in a coma for 2 days. They put me in a coma for 2 days so my body could recover, because basically my body went through the same shock as if you got hit by a bus going 60 miles an hour. That's the damage that was done to my body. They moved some like ribs around. I still got a scar. And I remember waking up and they had ESPN on, of course. And I was still groggy for like 2 days after that. Still pretty groggy. And I had wanted my cell phone and my laptop. And my ex-wife was there and like, you're not having either of those. You need to recover. And just getting on me. I think she went to the house to like nap or something like that. And and a new nurse came in who had no idea.
Didn't know the directions.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, give me my cell phone. It's right there. I wasn't speaking at the time.
Yeah.
So I had to like write it down. She's like, okay, gives me my cell phone. First email I sent is to the league. I'm alive. Give me my team.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. So we announced it. The announcement was on April 14th, 2022. That Stockton, California was getting a team in the USLW. I remember I was back. I was back home by this time. I'd spent a month post-transplant in the hospital. I was back home. I remember doing the TV interviews on KCRA3 and I was on KWIN. And we have played for 3 years so far. First year was at Delta College. You and Sylvester were at the first game.
We were at the very first game.
That was packed.
It was
packed,
and it was fun. I'd never seen women's soccer.
Yeah,
I mean
it was a blast.
It was never in my wheelhouse, but yeah, I'm cheering, and then I realized I was cheering for the wrong team, and everybody's like, "Hey, not them." I was like, "Oh goddamn, okay, I'm sorry." Hey, real quick, how'd the name Stockton Cargo come about?
So, I originally wanted to call it Sporting Club of Stockton as an homage to my dad's favorite soccer team in Portugal, Sporting Club of Lisbon.
Okay.
Day before we were announced, the league lawyers called up and said, yeah, you're going to get sued if you use that because your logo and your name is a complete knockoff and they have copyright. Like, shit. So it originally was just USLW Stockton. They're like, let's get together and think and come up with a name. So I remember I was on with a trademark attorney they hooked me up with and league attorney and myself. And they're like, what's big in Stockton? I'm like, well, Stockton has a port.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, about the Stockton port? It's like, nope, baseball team. Yep. They're like, what kind of port is it? Is it like Love Boat Port or an actual working port?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Not Love Boat Port. And they're like, it's a cargo port? And I'm like, yeah. And I remember it was my copyright attorney. Stockton Cargo. There you go.
Done.
It's like hot damn.
Yeah.
3 years, winning season every year. This past year was by far our best. Undefeated regular season. Won our division, made it to the Western Conference Finals. And we're playing against teams like Oakland and Cal Storm, Oakland Soul, Cal Storm, San Juan Soccer Club, San Francisco Glens, who have way more resources. Like, we totally moneyballed it.
Yeah.
Played the Oakland Soul in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum in what was the first women's soccer game ever in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. Came out with a dub.
All right.
That one was big.
Yeah.
That one was big. And yeah, heading into season 4, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Do you still have some of the original players from the first year? Or
do
they get drafted out or whatever the term is?
So we have had so far 5 players sign professional contracts. Our captain from our first game, who scored our first goal ever.
Yeah.
No, second. She scored our second goal ever. Haley Bostard. She's now playing in Greece.
In Greece. All
right. 2 of our players from this past year signed to play in the Hungarian First Division. Our goalkeeper from our second year is playing for the Utah Royals of the NWSL. And then one of our strikers from last year, or 2024, is playing for DC Power in the Gamebridge Super League. She's one of the league's leading scorers.
That's fantastic.
But to me, probably the best story is this young woman named Ureli Hernandez. Played at Delta College. And that was probably going to be the end of her soccer playing career. Well, she plays for us our first year. Really balls out. Just a great player. A lot of hustle. Well, she gets picked up after playing our first year, gets picked up and offered a spot with UC Merced. Graduated this past May.
Oh,
she's a kid from Franklin High in East Stockton.
Nice. Yeah.
And now she has a UC degree. And to me, that is what...
It's got to make you feel good.
Yeah. And that's why I started this team in the first place.
Yeah.
To see people like Ureli get her UC degree, to see a Haley Bostard playing in Greece,
Sure.
to see Sam Tristan playing in the Hungarian First Division and scoring 8 goals in the Hungarian First Division and having even bigger teams in Europe look at her now.
That's great. Do you stay in contact?
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely. And look, I make zero money. In fact, I lose money hand over fist, and I will continue to lose money hand over fist, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
This team, the Stockton Cargo, to me is my love letter to the city of Stockton, because the city of Stockton has meant so much to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something in return, and we have some amazing fans. There are so many little girls who look up to those women.
Yeah.
I remember there was our second year. We have young teams, young girls from youth clubs walk the players out, and there was a video of it. And Haley goes and gives one of those girls a high five. And the little girl's like, "Oh my God, I'm never going to wash my hand again."
Oh, and the mom's going, "Please don't say that."
But it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Well, you know what? I mean, outside of that ornery, always going against the grain, Lee Neves.
But it's,
I'm with you. You got a big heart for this town.
I do.
I've known that. I've known that since I've met you.
I do. And honestly, I mean, look, I love me some Florida.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. But the one thing that keeps bringing me back here is that I do have a big heart for this town.
What season, what months are soccer season?
It is, for us, it is always the first weekend of May.
Okay.
We always open that first weekend of May versus the Oakland Soul at home.
Okay.
And it runs through mid-July. So it's a short season.
Yeah, it is.
So players then go on to play at college or go play professionally right after.
Do you still predominantly play at Delta?
No, so Delta was our first year. Then they did a bunch of construction, so we couldn't use it the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we played Pacific. Great field.
Yeah.
Not so great fan experience.
Yeah.
Just the seating and whatnot is what it is.
I bring my own seat with me when I go to those.
Yes,
things.
you do.
All right.
So
I'm comfortable everywhere
next
I go.
year, when we made playoffs this year and hosted the first 2 rounds, we did it at St. Mary's High School.
That's a nice fan experience.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
We loved it, and it was cheaper than Pacific.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's
that's how ignorant I am. I didn't know you had to pay to use those fields.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I've never played girl soccer.
It is Pacific. They will draw their pound of flesh. Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll play at St. Mary's next year. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot better fan experience and a lot easier on my wallet. So.
Yeah. Right on. What do you think about is Sacramento finally getting a big team, big soccer club?
The Sac Republic, and it fell through again for Major League Soccer. Sac Republic still building their stadium. USL is going to have a Premier Division I league also, and so Sac Republic will be a part of that league.
Nice.
So
I know they've been trying for, it seems like a decade.
They've been trying for a very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Right.
So I know my time is almost up.
No, it is. I was just going to say that. You got 4 minutes.
But
Wrap it up however you want.
I do. I have a really big heart for Stockton. I also have, obviously, a really big heart for Florida.
Yeah.
And I would be remiss to say, look, that state not only is a state that really saved my life, but I have met some absolutely amazing people in Florida. People who have enriched my life and made my life better for knowing them and having them in my life.
Yeah.
And to me, I can easily say both places are home.
That's
Stockton
nice.
is home. Florida is also home. Florida is literally the birthplace of Lee 2.0.
Yeah.
And
that's a great saying. That's a great phrase.
Lee 2.0.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So I will always be a Stockton guy.
Yeah.
But I will always also be a Florida guy too.
Well, Stockton is very lucky to have you.
And
thanks for taking the time out of your day to come on here. It's been great. I knew this was going to be nothing but a conversation. I'm surprised at how clean we kept it. We didn't even get into the good stories, nor do we ever want to.
We did not get into the good stories.
It's thank you for being on. And where can people find you? What's the Stockton Cargo?
It's Stockton,
all that.
StocktonSC.com. Just go to StocktonSC.com. That's the webpage for the Stockton Cargo. We are on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right.
And you can usually find me once a week on Newsmax, being the token Democrat.
Yes. Oh man, I'll bleep that out. I remember Lee 1.0. He was the token Republican.
I was. Then things change.
Yep. Well, thank you again, and we'll end it here.
Thank you for having me, man.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
You betcha. You just experienced the Rolling Around podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe for more thrilling stories, exciting adventures, and special guests from all over. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rolling Around podcast. Do you want to be on our next episode? Contact us at the Rolling Around Podcast at gmail.com or give us a ring on our trap phone at 209-242-5814. Thanks for watching. See you next time.